Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Flags in a Gym, a podcast dedicated to all things color guard. My name is Eric. I'm your host and resident color guard nerd, and today's episode starts our 2026 Dayton World Championship recap series. We are starting with the most important class in our activity, Scholastic A. Will is back to join me to talk about every single guard plus some other things. So sit back, relax, and let's talk some color guard.
I'm drinking hot tea because my sinuses are hurting and my...
Would you catch a Dayton? Did you catch the gonorrhea herpelitis at Dayton?
It better not be that. I'm hoping it's just my allergies, but...
All those people crammed in that place?
Yeah.
But you weren't there for World Finals, which that's where everybody really gets sick.
A Finals was really full. Well, all day Friday really was actually really full. But yeah, Open Finals was not bad at all.
It's a shame. I'm glad that A Finals was full though.
Yeah. Open, I was like, oh. But it filled in more for like Independent Open, but Scholastic Open was pretty... I say it was, who knows? I couldn't see behind me, but where we were, it was, that first tier, the good seats, so to speak. They were, it was a little thin, but
it also started at 9:00 in the morning. And people were tired from the night before because after the color guards go finish, everybody goes to headquarters to go drinking. And we've all heard the stories about the people at headquarters.
I feel
not that anybody in this call would be one of those stories.
I was a very good girl. I did not linger in the bar. I went right to my room both nights.
Sure, Jen.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we got a lot of color guard to talk.
Bottom up, right? Starting at the bottom.
Yep, we'll start at the bottom. I got everything in order. I'll lead us through. You speak your mind, speak your piece. We are going to start the first episode this time with Scholastic A, the most important class in WGI, in my opinion.
Yes.
The backbone of the activity. I think I calculated last year, I think 44% of the guards competing at Dayton are Scholastic A guards. Like when you do all the numbers. That was last year. So
it actually seems kind of low, actually, but...
And then when you add in the Independent A, it's like almost 60% of the guards.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 65 or something like that. Yeah.
That makes I see that makes more. Yeah.
I was just talking just Scholastic A.
Yeah. Okay. So I was like, that's all A classes. Jeez. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Should be more than half, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody, welcome back. Will Stevenson, our lovely friend of the pod. Say hello, my dear friend.
Hi.
We are back again to do this all again. And I have had people hounding me. When are you going to do the recaps? I'm like, y'all, Dayton ended Saturday. It is Sunday afternoon. Everybody's tired. Hold your horses. But we are going to churn these out so we can be done and we can take a nice long break and just detox from color guard land for a while. It's been a very, very long season. How was Dayton? You were there in person.
I was. Yeah, it was fantastic. I feel like every year I end up saying, this was the best one. But like, this really was very good. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Of course, I love to always see friends and everything, but the performances were amazing. Lots of great variety just across the board. I mean, seriously, and just in every class, it was variety palooza. And I don't know, there was just an overwhelming sense of just joy in everything, even the quote unquote sad shows, which honestly, there weren't that many, at least that I saw. There was just this underlying, like, you could tell all these performers, all the staff people, everybody was just excited. And yeah, there was just this like just infusion of just joy underneath everything, propelling all of these performances. And I think that really came through all the ones I saw anyway. And I was just, it just really was powerful and touching, and I cried a couple times, and it was just really fabulous. And I will say I'll fully own that probably part of this was because I wasn't there in person last year. So that might be part of it. But nonetheless,
That little extra touch of magic of being there live and being in the crowd and that hearing that roar surround you when people are cheering definitely makes a difference.
but it was fabulous. So
Excellent. Yeah, and I would say another thing that added a lot of excitement to the weekend was just the crapshoot that everything was because
yes,
we always say rankings mean doesn't really mean much when you go to date, and A class proved that.
no kidding. It was really exciting. I'm sure a lot of people were really mad, or maybe not mad, but like frustrated, disappointed. I'm sure there's always some of that, of course. But wow, what a great contest! And that's this is like same thing I've said before with like Grand Nationals for marching band. Like it is a big old contest, and you really don't know what's going to happen because so many of these groups have never competed against each other before. So here they are, you throw them all in a bowl and see what happens. And it's just I love that part so much. That's so exciting. Just that energy of all of that kind of the unknown, but it's like an exciting unknown. Not, I mean, could be scary, I guess, but
Yeah, people get those last few weeks to clean, and then you have those guards that haven't been out since mid-season that have just been plugging away at home. Then they show up to date, and you're like,
yeah.
oh, that's what you were doing during during all that time. Because there are many guards that,
Or the international groups that who knows when they last performed, and then they travel over here. So then there's, they've got an extra layer of like
yeah,
craziness.
we talk about a lot of guards that are marathon guards where the show just builds and builds and builds, and you have some of these guards that they come out pretty much done,
Mhm.
and they just kind of slowly progress. But you have these guards that come out bare bones, and I have in our recap here. So we're going to talk about placement, actual placement. We're going to talk about their performance order placement. And then I also have their seedings coming into Dayton, like coming into the Dayton weekend. And there are some wild numbers in here for Scholastic A.
That'll be really fun to see how
Because
it.
finals jumbled around a little bit,
Mhm. Yeah,
but when you look at the rankings, you're like, dude, like,
there were some
whoa.
big jumps. Yeah, yeah.
Just for some facts about the weekend. So obviously, finals day is a super long day for these A guards because they have semis and finals on the same day. And it's a huge test of their stamina and focus. And really, that's really what separates the guards at the top, I believe, is who can handle all that pressure. Because especially I think the last Scholastic A guard went on at 11 o'clock at night.
For in finals, yeah, it
Yeah,
was like 11 or 11:15, something like that. Yeah.
which is crazy. And I went and did some research. So the earliest finalist went on at 9:42 a.m. That was Jersey Valley, sorry, Jersey Village High School. They went on at 9:42, but there were four finalists in that round. Hoover, Rancho Cucamonga, and Carroll also were in that round. They went on back to back to back. And then the final six guards to perform in semis all made finals. So the final six in round four, it was Madison Central, Liverpool, Southington, Hamilton, Rock Hill, and Grand Oaks. They all went on right after each other, and Grand Oaks went on at 5:29 p.m. They were the very last guard in semis.
Okay. Yeah. And then yeah, 'cause then they had to drive an hour out of Cincinnati to get to Dayton to then regroup and get ready and all that. And
And Liverpool had the shortest turnaround. So they performed at like 5 o'clock ish.
Mhm.
And then they went on finals at 8:38.
Wow.
So you talk about that hour commute.
Mhm.
And you got to make sure you even make finals. You're waiting for scores. So Grand Oaks went on at 5:29. Scores probably weren't close to ready till 5:50.
Maybe. Yeah.
So 6 o'clock. Then you're like, oh, we made finals. We got to go. I mean, they probably headed that way anyway, but just crazy, crazy, crazy. And then also they get to see UD for the first time. So with that crowd, lots of pressure on these A guards. This is not Paramount that gets to be on this floor three times in the weekend, and they go every year. Many of these guards have not been on this floor before. Another thing I did kind of go over on Instagram as it became a big talk is the all right, all right, all right, all right, all right cheer because I had no idea what they were saying. I got the work part, and then I got we figured out it was slay. All you could hear is the A. And then what do you say? What's your third word?
Works like I always thought it was get it, or I think this year it sounded almost more like it was work, but then it kept changing, and I just had no clue what was happening this year. But in the past, I always thought it was work, slay, get it. But who knows?
I put it on Instagram because I'm like, I don't know what y'all are saying. Can y'all tell me? And then I got like 45 different responses. And I'm like, this is why I can never tell what it is because everybody's saying something different. So the big things was period or per, which is just, like the AAVE shortened version of, like period. So shortened it to per, which is kind of the latest thing. So that was that and fierce. And then some people were saying get it and then catch and bap and yes. And I'm like, this is all in there. But from what I've learned, it's a regional thing. So
Oh,
like
okay.
somebody from Seaweed, the Etude circuit said, "Oh, we say this," and then somebody from California was like, "Oh, and we say this," and so you get all those people together in the same
Okay.
room, and it just becomes blah, blah, blah.
Just oh goodness.
So there is no definite answer, and apparently some of the circuits change it each year.
Oh,
Somebody in the Seaweed circuit was like, "Oh yeah, last year we said this, and then this year they're saying this." I'm like, y'all are just making this more difficult.
okay.
So, but I'm not crazy because I'm like, I don't think
Yeah.
y'all know what you're saying.
Like it's actually happening. Yeah. Aw.
California showed up.
They sure did. And so did Florida. Holy cow. The extreme coast said, hello, we're coming in hot.
They're like, don't forget about us.
No
Especially
shit.
in Independent A, California did not come to play. We talked about rankings briefly. Many top 20 guards in Scholastic A didn't make finals. I went through the list: Mount Juliet, Nation Ford, Cambridge, Union, Ryle. They all missed finals. And we talk about it all the time. Making, especially Scholastic A finals, is so, so difficult. All 20 guards that made finals broke 90 in semis.
Yeah, I think the lowest one was like a 90.8 was 20th. I
Yeah,
think something like that. I think it was, yeah, crazy. And Mount Juliet missed it by a tenth. Right? Was it 1/10?
0.22, two tenths.
Oh, well,
Because they
still.
get the double panel in semi, so they get
Yeah,
all the,
okay.
the extra
Yeah.
little numbers. So, yeah, our first alternate was Mount Juliet. They missed it by 0.22, and then Larry A. Ryle was our second alternate, missed it by 0.27.
Oof.
That's how tight those numbers were.
Oh,
And Sacktown Mikey on Instagram gave me this little nugget. All 20 guards were separated by 4.6 points from first to 20th in
that's
semis.
incredible.
And Bertelbaugh had like a 1 point lead. So if you went second to 20th, it's 3.6 points.
Wow.
And that's why, because when we
And
were watching, like generally when you watch finals, the shows get progressively quote unquote better or stronger. Like you see them progress. And I was
right.
watching Scholastic A. I'm like, they all look the same. Like
They
how,
all in that same neighborhood. Yeah, and that's interesting because coming out of semis, everyone's popping a 90 or higher. So you know they're all in the same neighborhood, which is all, which is why they make finals, of course. But yeah, but then once they're actually in finals, then there's more. Now we can spread these numbers out and really kind of get to the nitty-gritty almost. But really, they're all still in the same neighborhood. Now we're just on like two blocks instead of one block. But like those blocks are both really, really nice. And it's like it's interesting to see how that kind of happens. But I mean, yeah, 20th place was spectacular.
yeah.
So
And as a judge, if you would love to kind of explain to people how this number spread happens, because a lot of people, especially younger people are like, I got a 91 in semis and then I go to finals and get an 84. How does that happen?
mm,
When you're judging almost 60 color guards in one competition.
yeah, your numbers have to be, you're really trying to cram these numbers into a 90 can only go so many ways. So, and you're stretching that out. So that's why you get all those decimal points. Sometimes the, hundredths and thousandths of places, for decimal points start coming into play because you've got to, cram all these numbers in there for 60 groups. Well, then when you only have 20, you've got way more wiggle room, which is why you do see those scores drop. The actual number itself is going to drop in finals because, okay, we've had a minute. Now we're starting fresh. It's a fresh contest. So boom, first group comes on and off we go. And that's why you see those numbers drop a lot coming out of the semifinals runs. Because that can be kind of alarming, I think.
Yeah.
Even if I took my own team and we happened to experience that. That would I could see, even as a director who's done that before or whatever, and a judge who knows what's happening, it still would be like, oh, right, I have to like blink a couple times and be like, oh, this is perfectly fine. It doesn't diminish anything because they're still popping. What the lowest score in finals was an 83. That's still like almost middle of box four. So that's fantastic. Like that's pretty dang amazing. So yeah, but in that, in those moments that can be hard to understand that or real or remember that or explain that to the kids, but contest dynamics they call that.
Yeah. And I think WGI has a video where like Dale
Yes.
Powers and Carl Lowe talk about it for a while. If I
Yeah.
can find it, I'll link it in the show notes
Yeah.
for people. They kind of
Is it?
explain.
It's a helpful video, yeah. Because again, it can be, especially in Class A, it can be very overwhelming and confusing, or maybe disheartening sometimes too. Well, we popped a 91 and made semis. Well, okay, out of this many groups. So, yeah, but yeah, that's a great video that WGI put out. I think they put that out every year, kind of a refresher video, which is really nice that they do that. Helpful reminders.
Yes, because I'm sure they're like, we don't want to get bombarded by this question 500 times.
Hmm.
A couple other quick nuggets before we get into the guard. I did make a Spotify playlist of the Scholastic A music.
Fun.
I'm going to do it for the other classes as well. Some of these guards have like mega mixes. So I just kind of picked the main song that they did because it's
Yep.
really hard to Shazam these soundtracks when the crowd is going wild. Like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fully do one for World because some of the soundtracks is just all screams from the crowd. So unless I know what they're doing, that ain't happening. So if you're interested to hear some of these guards' music, it'll be there. What else do we have here? The top five from Scholastic Egg move on to open class. So when
Yes.
we cover our top five, they are all going to open. We have no 3-year groups here. So for my listeners, A class has the secondary promotion rule that if you make finals in 3 consecutive years, you have to go like 23, 24, 25, you get moved to open. It happened to Kettering Fairmont
That's right.
last year. So they were in open this year, even though they were 17th in finals last year. But we do have Carroll High School. This is their second year
Okay.
for Scholastic A. So if they come next year and don't finish top five, but they're in finals, they go into open.
One up. Yep.
I don't think it happens too much in Scholastic A because generally, if you're making finals 3 years in a row, you're going to climb that ladder and
Yeah.
get up towards that top five. So, although I say that, then Kettering Fairmont was 17th last year and went.
Yeah. That's true.
Our predictions, yeah, predictions did not go well this year.
That was really hard. I know I was trying to go back through what I had just kind of marked out for myself, and I think of I had even indicated like who do I think is going to make semifinals, and I went through that. I actually did better on that than I did with who makes finals and who is gonna getting medals and whatever. But
I think you, Alicia, Alex, and I all went 2 for 5.
Mm.
And pretty much everybody in my predictions contest went 2 for 5, and it was John C. Birtlebow in Campbell County. Everybody picked them for the most part. I don't think anybody got more than two. And then our fan favorite was Grand Oaks High School.
I was gonna ask you about that. Yeah, who? Okay, cool.
They
Great.
were the autobiography of a bird. They had the
The
bird
bird.
nest.
Oh, it was beautiful. Yeah,
So
neat. Okay,
they were a fan favorite.
cool.
And another little fun little story. Last thing before we get into the guard. So I did do the Dayton predictions contest,
Yeah.
and I just announced the winners. And my husband entered, and he was like, "I'm gonna try this or whatever," and he ended up in 11th place. And I was like, you did really really well for not really knowing anything. And he goes, "Well," and then he pulls up his phone and he hands it to me and shows me a text chain with somebody that I'm talking to right now.
Yeah.
So my husband went into my phone, got your phone number,
Mhm.
and texted you, said, "Help me out."
And I was like, okay, which is funny because he actually did really well compared to me because I did really bad. And because I didn't use the predictions that I gave to him. I didn't use the same ones for myself, and I should have done that.
I was wondering where he got his from because I figured maybe he found the rankings page or he found band scores or something. And then
Oh, I filled the whole thing out for him, and here you go.
I even mentioned band scores in front of him and I got no reaction from him. So I'm like, okay, he didn't go to band scores.
Nope.
So
Okay.
he ended up, I think it was 12th he ended up. So
No,
that was a lot of fun. And we're going to do that again next year. So,
that was fun. Yeah, cool.
all right, let's talk Scholastic A finals. We have 20 groups to talk about. So, because there are 20, we are probably going to move kind of quickly on some of these.
Yeah,
So, we're just going to give our general thoughts, what we think, talk about everybody. We do an episode for each class because we want everybody to get their flowers because everybody works hard. And I don't want to do a 1 hour episode that covers 90 plus color guards.
that would be insane.
Yeah, well, because people just cherry
One
pick
word
that.
for each school. Go.
Right.
Actually, it would be kind of fun.
like a quick tutor boot like from Drag Race. Like
Yes.
love
Word
it, hate it.
association. And yeah, name a school. Boom. Like, yeah.
All right, so we're going to start with 20th place, which was Liverpool High School and their show Rooted. They ended up 20th. They came into finals 19th, and they came to Dayton ranked 6th.
Well, okay.
So, but they still made finals,
Yeah.
and they were this first year finalists for them.
I'll be honest. I think in my brain, because Liverpool, they're from New York, right?
Yes.
I kept thinking of them as Lancaster, New York, and Lancaster used to be in Scholastic Open. And, and I kept thinking it was the same, but it wasn't. My brain was kind of jumbling the L names together. And but they were fabulous, though. They came out and one of the smaller teams in finals. I think they had 9 performers.
Yep.
Absolutely gorgeous costumes. I'm going to be saying that a lot, but absolutely gorgeous, coppery, rusty browns. Oh my gosh, just beautiful costume. Very fitting of their root kind of concept that they were doing. Gorgeous tarp too. That again, coppery brown tarp. Oh my goodness. And they
With the black like root lines all through it.
the lines weaving through it. It gave it some really cool dimension when you looked at it up high too, which was really, really neat. Yeah, and they were beautiful. Very great presence on the floor. I thought they really just embodied themselves very effortlessly. They had some bobbles with equipment, some things that maybe didn't go the way that they would have preferred, but doesn't matter. I mean, they still, it's all about recovery, right? So they pushed through that anyway and kept going. And really a beautiful show. The biggest thing that stuck out to me, other than the costumes, was the black lame flag that they had at the end. It was like, I mean, it's black tissue lame, fine, but on that tarp and against their costume, it looked so inky, just beautiful inky black, and was just the perfect splash because black can splash too against things. It was a great splash of that against everything else, and it's really really beautiful.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love the costuming. And I have to say, just as a whole, the sequins were sequining this weekend.
Oh my heavens! I
So
was
many of
I
these
was in
costumes.
pure heaven. It's wonderful.
Like you have Liverpool Flanagan, Dobbins Bennett. I mean, there were so many guards with sequins, but just I don't know if Flo got a better camera or UD changed the lighting, but I mean, these
It
guards
was
were
on
like
point.
twinkling across the floor, and it was I'm here for it. I want somebody to pull out the head to toe orange sequin Centerville High School unitards. Please pull them out.
Yes.
Liverpool, one of my big notes, and I said this in my recap with them earlier, is the weapon line. Like those weapons are so strong, so good. And like you said, 9 kids on the floor doing great things. That black lame flag, excellent. And that's the only flag they used, I believe, if I remember
No, they
correctly.
had one before it
Did
too,
they?
but the black was the flag feature. So
That's
they all
right.
there was another one. I don't remember what color it was, but um,
We watched a
but
lot of color guard, y'all. So if we're
lots,
forgetting
lots of
details,
lots
we
of lots of
apologize.
flags.
But yeah, so I'm looking forward to see them again. They made it into finals. Huge accomplishment, huge achievement. So take that and put that on your trophy mantle because it's a huge,
Yep.
huge
Yeah.
deal. So congrats to Liverpool. We'll see you next year, I'm sure.
Yes. Yes.
Let's move on to 19th place, which was Salem High School and their show Shoe. And they came in 20th and they were ranked 14th.
Okay.
And this was the Bumblebee at a Picnic show.
Yes, yeah, they had like the whole backyard set up, like the back porch of the house, and then the picnic table and the lawn and the sidewalk running through the they took that was the thing I really wrote down was they took that theme, which it could be a very thin concept, but they drove it all the way through to the nth degree and just had a blast with it. All the little details, the humor in a lot of it with the props and the designs on the flags and the giant fly swatter prop that came out towards the end and the well there's that it's that that was that joy that I mentioned like they really just were having a great time selling this backyard party story with these bugs flying around.
I love the bug spray flag that they brought out, and they fixed that up because when I was at Bethlehem, that was like a sheer flag.
Okay.
So I think that the judges may have said it's hard to see what's on the flag because when I saw it here at Dayton, I'm like, oh,
It
that's
was
like a
yeah, it was more opaque and you could really see the can
right.
on the design. Yeah.
And I love like the lazy body they do, like after they get sprayed and everything. And I love the costuming, that like 50s kind of.
Yeah, very, very, yeah, 50s, 60s, the dresses and the cute little collar details and yeah, it's very stylized, very cute.
Yeah, and then the use of Flight of the Bumblebee for music, just like very thematically well done. And the kids were great as well, good performers. And yeah,
Yeah.
the fly swatter. I mean, yeah, it's lots of fun little moments that really just put the whole package together. And they all run into the house to get away from the bee at the end.
Yes, yep, yep. It was
So
really, really cute. Very fun and just yeah, great all around.
nicely done, Salem. Let's move on to 18th place, which was Hoover High School Varsity from Alabama, and their show Farther Apart. They came into finals. They came out of semis in 18th, but they were ranked coming into Dayton in 13th. And fun little fact, friend of ours who's been on the pod, Matthew Harris, actually did their soundtrack.
Yeah,
He's done a couple soundtracks that we're going to cover in
yeah,
these episodes. So just shout him out because if you need soundtrack work, he's excellent.
yeah. He does a great job.
And they had like a wooden plank floor with a table in the center, and they were in turquoise and tan uniforms.
Yeah, the costumes were yeah, like started tan with the sparkles and faded into that turquoise teal color and the flags that were kind of matching with the colors and all that popped against that yeah, that wood grain kind of tarp look they had and then they got that table in the center, and that table just kept expanding as the show went on, and they kept adding to it and pushing themselves farther apart. But it was really, really well done because that could have felt a little forced or kind of awkward, but they did a great job with letting that kind of propel things along through the show for them, and it was really, really lovely.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought the show flowed beautifully. The costumes. I mean, I think that was a big thing this year. The costuming was on point with
Yeah,
so many of these guards
so many great costumes.
and like huge variety. And I love a good like turquoise or aqua color. I don't know what it is about that color, just really pops for me.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty. So yeah, I liked the show. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, just a good solid the performers I think embodied the storytelling emotional aspect of the theme and the soundtrack and yeah, beautiful.
Nicely done, Hoover. Let's
Yep.
move on to 17th place. This is a little number shock here. So the 17th place was Hamilton High School out of Ohio, and their show Lampyridae, which I have no idea what that means. I assumed it was fireflies. They came out of semis in 15th, but they came into Dayton ranked 41st.
Wow. Wow. That's incredible.
And that's not even the biggest shock. We got one a little later. It's gonna really shock you. And they had the beautiful grass printed floor, and they were like in the black and gold, which made me think they were supposed to be fireflies. Like from the knees down, they were gold.
That kind of a idea I think was behind it. I
Yeah.
will say shout out to my friend Jonathan. He's their director, and he does almost all the things by himself.
Oh
So
wow.
kudos to Jonathan Liszczak. He's fab and did a great job with this group. Yeah.
Hey, Jonathan.
Okay. I thought it was really, really great how the gold color, they had gold and the costumes were like black fading into gold. The flag, they had a flag that was black into gold. The rifles were painted gold, but all the golds matched really well, which I thought was really pretty remarkable when you're mixing mixing in different materials and different fabrics and things, it's hard to get colors to match up that well, but they did a great job of getting that to be really consistent across the board. Thought that was really nice. Yeah, just a great show. It was kind of cute and kind of fun, but also just really pretty and elegant. They were very refined, I thought, in a lot of what they did.
Yeah, and they had tons of those light orb props all over the floor. Like some were stood up, some were on the ground, and tons of those. We've seen those pop up a lot in color guard lately.
Yeah, they actually, and at the end in the flag feature, they had them on the top of the flagpole.
That's right. They had one on the end of the pole. Yeah.
Yeah, which was really cool.
I wonder how they got that to stay on there.
I don't know. That's a great question. I don't
If
know.
you're listening, let us know.
Yeah, someone from Hamilton, let us know. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I will say, I think that one of the things that stuck out to them too, or about them, I believe they only had not only not to diminish it, but it was they had three rifles, and I think eight or nine were on flag the rest of the time, and
Oh, I don't honestly don't think I noticed.
it was pretty slick. It was like this didn't matter, right? It was all staged really well and fit the musical and all of that. Yeah, they spent a lot of time on flag, which was really lovely. I love flag, so that was always good. But yeah, I was like, oh yeah, it's cool. We've only got three weapons, and then they handled that really well, and then went back to flag, and it was I thought that was really interesting and but really well staged, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean sometimes that's all you can work with. I mean, George
Mhm.
Mason University Independent Open. They had almost 28 in the guard, three rifles.
Mhm.
It's what they had to work with.
Yeah.
So
And it's all about how you stage them and show them off. Yeah,
yep.
yep. But great job, Hamilton.
Great job, Hamilton. Let's move on to 16th place, which was a really, really fun show,
Oh my gosh.
which was Foothill High School out of Nevada with their show Ride or Die. They came out of semis in 17th. They came into Dayton ranked 21st. And this was the Bonnie and Clyde show
Yes.
with the Volkswagen Bug on the floor, which was a whole ass car, like on a
It was a
platform.
full-blown car that they pushed into Dayton Arena. Yeah, that was incredible.
This show is so much fun, and they had they had a boy that was like portraying Clyde, and I think they also had a singular performer that kind of portrayed Bonnie as well. I think they
Yeah,
had
so
two,
it
but
seems
that
like
boy was mean mugging for the camera. He was enjoying that moment. He was like, you know what, you're gonna love me, I'm gonna make you love me. All the faces he was
it
making.
was so fun. But not only him, but that entire group were just rock solid with everything they did. Wow. And just selling every little bit of that show. It was really well done. I honestly was surprised that they were as low as they were. I thought they were
Same,
going to climb up quite a lot, but
because they
no.
had a good run too. It's not like they had a
Oh,
bobbly
they
run
were
or
on
anything.
fire and just yeah, you could just the energy shifted a little bit when they threw that first toss and it was just
And he
spectacular.
cracked it at that true port on the hood of that car.
And yes, he was on the car and off they went and it was really just so much fun. They had a really great fall color guard like this past fall season. They had a really great guard outdoors, and I was like, wait a minute, I feel like I've seen or heard this name before. And oh yeah, I'd seen him in the fall, and here they are making finals at WGI, and yeah, so well trained and just they were I watching them. It was like there's no doubt they're gonna nail every single thing that they did, and they did it. Yeah, and the way that they kept going back to the car, because sometimes you've got a big prop like that that's like you might start there and then it kind of just you have a hard time getting how do I reel that back in? But they kept weaving themselves in and around it and literally inside of it and around it and did a great job of helping that be a part of the story and telling things. And yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, I love the floor, like there's the multiple newspaper kind of like
Yes.
headlines all over the place. And the flag feature, I love that flag feature with that suspended moment. And they're lifting, and then with no prep, they just literally just whip it into a double 45. I'm like, come on, y'all.
It
And I
was
saw them last year at the Manhattan Beach Regional, and they did a song off Beyonce's Cowboy Carter album, the Daddy Issues or whatever. They did this whole like country theme, and I was like, this card's really good. And then they came to Manhattan Beach again this year, and I was like, are they going to Dayton? Please tell me they're taking this show to Dayton. So
Yeah.
I was honestly surprised this didn't win fan favorite just because of how much the crowd was into it.
Oh my gosh, that crowd, that arena was screaming for these kids. It was a blast. Yeah, yeah. Great, great, great job.
Great job. I hope they can come back next year. I know coming from Nevada, that is a trek and a very
Hmm.
big cost for them. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, this was program to watch next year. California regionals. Make sure you're checking to see if Foothill's there. So great
definitely.
job. I love this show.
Yep.
Let's move on to 15th place, which was Jersey Village High School out of Texas. They are not out of New Jersey, which I have had this blocked in my head. Like I just assume they're out of Jersey. They're from Jersey Village, Texas. They came out of semis in 16th. They were ranked 34th coming into Dayton. And
Okay.
their show was All Roads Lead Home. They used a version of Home by Billy Porter and
MJ
MJ
Rodriguez,
Rodriguez. It's from Pose.
the post. Yes, I had that written down too, so I'm glad you said it too, because if you didn't say it, I was going to mention it. Beautiful version of that song. So, so beautiful. It was great to hear it in that big space. Um,
Vox RDMA also used it this year in their show.
I don't know that I caught that. Okay. I didn't connect that it was the same. Okay, neat. Well, the big thing that stuck out to me with Jersey Village was like you said, they had kind of this kind of yard house with a yard and the clotheslines across the back,
Where
which
the
the
flags were set up on
clothesline,
the clothesline.
yes, which was so clever. I was like, I thought that I clapped for that when they unhooked the one flag and put it folded it up and then
Where was the pole? Because on the video you couldn't see the pole.
it was behind the pole that was supporting the clothesline. So they had it behind it. And so they
Oh,
lifted it, unpinned it, lifted it, and off they went. It was a super clever way to do that. The big thing with them that stuck out to me was their flag choreography was on point. And those kids were living for it. They were serving that up so well. And it was beautiful to watch. So the marriage of all that choreo with that song and that was really fab for me.
somebody actually messaged me on Instagram and says, "What is Texas feeding their flag lines?" And I responded, "Color guard class every day."
Well, that yeah, or at least every other day for sure. Yeah.
Right?
Gosh, wish we could all do that. Yeah, they were fab though. Really, really solid show. Again, I was honestly a little surprised that they were 15th. I thought they might have wiggled around a little bit too, them and Foothill both. I thought they might kind of wiggle their way up, but really just a great, beautiful show.
Yeah. Big song. Yeah, Vox used it in their show. So Vox used just a chunk of it because they had like a multi-track soundtrack,
That's
whereas
why.
Jersey Village used the whole
Yeah.
for pretty much the whole production. And yeah,
Yeah.
the flag on the clothesline was like the big thing I remembered out of that. I was like that. I'm like, they're
That
all
was
the same, so it's not closed. I bet you that's a flag, but I couldn't see the pole. And then
yeah.
I missed it. I was watching something else, and then all of a sudden,
Let's see, I was glued. My eyes were. I was like, she just undid that one. What's gonna? Oh my God! I love that so much. That was great. Yeah, it was cool. They had a
yeah,
really 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 well staged too. I thought the staging was really. They used that whole space really well.
which can be tricky when you have a big house in the back corner and like a little sidewalk path leading up
Hey,
to it.
yeah. How do we not get hung up on constantly, going one to one spot or whatever? But they did a great job, and yeah, really really beautiful show.
Nicely done, Jersey Village from Texas, not from Jersey. And I'm sure you
Right.
all get that all
Right.
the time.
Yeah.
14th place, we had Unionville High School with their show, The Place I Call Home. They came out of semis in 13th and they were ranked 10th coming into the Dayton weekend. So they kind of
Okay.
were right where they
Wiggled
were.
around a little bit, but yeah, no, yeah,
Compared to other guards, they were pretty much right where they came in. So,
yeah.
and I'd seen this show multiple times because they were at the Corning Regional, and then they were at the Philly Regional, then they were at Bethlehem, and I saw them at Dayton.
They
So I saw,
really, they really did the regional circuit this year. Was yeah, you're right because yeah, I feel like I saw them at least two or three times for sure.
and they were like, "We're you know what, we're gonna get the feedback, so when we go to Dayton, we know we're." And you know what? It got on to finals.
It worked. It really did. Again, this will be a broken record, but I thought their staging was really really worked to their advantage as they just moved around and interacted with their letter props and they had some letter props that spell out love the city of brotherly love, right? Is the
Yep.
Philadelphia kind of tagline.
And that LOVE is like a landmark in Philly, kind of like
Oh,
the
it
Chicago
is. It is
bean
the
and
real.
everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the O is specifically tilted that one way. So,
Okay, yeah. But I thought yeah, again, just they used that whole space really well. It didn't feel like maybe there was a quote unquote story that they were telling, but the soundtrack I thought was lovely. Beautiful dress too. They're really pretty dress.
yeah, I
Uh,
still can't figure out. You were there. What color was it? Because on video, I couldn't tell if it was like purple or maroon or.
me, I thought it was like it's like navy across the top and then faded down into like the white. So it looked more
So you're
navy.
thinking of like blue in the blue family.
I
Because
thought it
on
was
camera, it reads like almost like a wine. And that's like, I cannot figure out the color of these
yeah, I thought it was
uniforms.
unless I don't know. I thought it was blue because the whole thing read very red, white, and blue without screaming red, white, and blue.
Right.
Yeah, because I thought it was blue fading into the white, and then they had the red splashes and the silks and stuff. But maybe I don't
Yeah.
know.
I enjoyed the show as well. And one nugget that I heard when I was in Bethlehem and people were sitting behind me,
Mhm,
and I thought it was an interesting nugget. So they opened with that, I think it was a green flag that had Philly written on it.
mhm,
And everybody behind me was like, why was that not the ensemble flag at the end? And I was like, that's an interesting idea. But then as they turn because the props are blue and then they're on three sides, and
Yeah,
then they turn around and the face is bright red. Then they have the flag with the LOVE kind of stamped in the corner, like you're mailing a
mhm,
letter kind of thing, which is
yeah,
red. So I think that's why those were the ensemble flags. It was like red, red, red at the end.
yeah,
But I was like, that's an interesting thing because it just had Philly on it. It was really clear to read.
yeah.
Just a
Hmm, I don't know.
yeah. But they were like, yeah, why isn't that the end? Like,
I
so
said,
when somebody says something and you're like, huh, yeah, I wonder why.
it honestly didn't occur to me until just now that you said that. So I'm like, oh yeah, I guess so. But whatever. But really, again, really pretty show. Solid kids.
They can throw some tricks.
They can throw some tricks
That
and
behind the back blade catch at the beginning, and
oh, oh, like okay.
yeah. And every time I think she nailed that every time I saw it.
Well,
But great job, Unionville. Yeah, I mean, they've been plugging away. They did the Sisyphus show last year with the big boulder, remember?
okay. That was the one that I said reminded me of Coconut Creek from the 90s. That's right.
Yes. So
Okay.
same school, Unionville. And I know one of the performers that from Fusion that I chat with from time to time. He's on the flag line. He actually is on staff at Unionville too.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah.
Well, shout out to both of
Yep.
them.
All right,
Okay.
let's move on to 13th place. My favorite or one of my top guards of the entire weekend, Madison Central High School.
Yes, from Kentucky.
Woo! I'm not from Kentucky, but yay, Kentucky.
They have never come to WGI before ever, and they showed up and blew themselves into finals. Congrats to my friends Gary and Johnny who teach them. Thrilled to death. Absolutely
Yeah.
thrilled to death.
Their show was The Piano That Plays. They came out of semis in 14th. They came into the weekend ranked fifth. And that's why everybody had them in their top five, probably because I wouldn't shut up about this show and how amazing it was. So everybody's like, they're
Yes.
ranked top five. Eric won't shut up about it. Yeah, I'll pick them. I just, you know, when somebody asks me, like, why do you love this one so much? I said, and the answer is, it just scratches that itch for me. There's just something about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes,
It felt like classic Scholastic A color guard in the
yes,
best way. In the best, that's a huge compliment. Classic Scholastic A color guard, and they performed the heck out of everything that they did and were really well trained. But
yes.
like they were so emotive with this theme because it was a big soundtrack. I mean, like it was a big singer doing this song that they were using
The
and
song's called Adagio by Laura Brayton. It's on my phone now. I bought the
yeah.
song.
Beautiful song, beautiful song. And well, and again, like we talked about with some other groups, they had that piano in the middle of the floor the entire time. It didn't move. So that could have been a real hindrance, but it wasn't. They kept everything swirling around it. They would go up and over it, under it, around the piano, using so much of that space. And they had I think that was actually the biggest team that we had seen in finals They had
Like up until that point,
up
yeah.
until that point, they had like 25 kids. So it was kind of like, woo, there's a lot of dresses and a lot of fabric moving around. And
And the floor that bled from white out to that burgundy. Did you see? So I didn't catch it until finals when I was watching them. I didn't realize they put a mirror under the piano
oh,
to hide everything behind it. Because I'm
mhm.
like, what is this shiny thing on top
Somebody,
of the
I heard somebody
piano?
behind me was watching them and they were like, "Where are her legs?" And the girl that was sitting at the piano and I heard them say that and I just kind of glanced over to it and I was like, "Oh yeah, you can't see her legs." But yeah, that was very clever of them to mask that a little bit to keep things tidy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could talk about this one for hours. I'm not going to, but I saw it in Indy when I went to the Indy Regional. I saw it in prelims, and I was like, I love this. I
And
love this. And they when they were third in the regional. I'm like, really, really? Okay, you say
they're
so.
they're in my home circuit and so I get to see them a lot.
Oh, I'm jelly.
They're just fab. Yeah. But just yeah, but in general, in the grand scheme of things, powerful performance. They were so emotive, and those big flag statements. They gave us two big flag features. Wow.
That
Um,
black one around the piano, and then that red one at the end,
and then that bright red. You talk that slow lift, and then they whoa boom and did that toss,
and slam into the ground.
and it was just pure passionate power through all of that. But just fab. So
Oh,
huge congrats to Madison Central. I think
yeah.
we'll be seeing a lot more of them.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And I know they're going to listen to this, so they'll respond to me. Where they do the black flag feature on the piano, they added music in there
Oh, cool.
because I have the song. It ain't in there. So I'm curious, did you find it from another piece or did you like just have somebody create it? Because there are so many amazing musicians out there that could listen to it like, oh, I'll fill this in
Just kind
15,
of, yeah.
20 seconds for you. I can write a little piano thing and we'll throw it in there.
Yeah.
So,
So, yeah. Gary,
when I was,
Johnny, tell us what you did.
yeah, because I was talking to the Revival people last year when I did their program showcase. And they said, yeah, we had a guy that did our soundtrack and he wrote like 20, 30 instrumental parts and then played them himself, recorded himself playing it, and overlaid it into the soundtrack. I'm like, that's insane.
That is incredible. And there are so many amazing artists out there who can do that for you. Don't ever be afraid to ask. So many awesome people in our activity or around our activity that would love to support you and write you some music and
Or perform some music for
or
you.
perform some music. Oh, wouldn't that be incredible? Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
you get people to do it. Yeah.
But really cool. Really, really cool. Love Madison Central. Who's
Yay. All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on because otherwise we'll keep talking. Let's move on to 12th place. This was Cooper City High School with their show Not So Bitter After All. They came out of semis in 12th and they came into Dayton ranked 16th.
and these costumes were a freaking 20 out of 10. Holy mackerel, those teal sequins were freaking gorgeous. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah. Absolutely stunning costumes. That's all
I
I have.
thought the floor was beautiful. I think they had the best floor in Scholastic A. If I'm
Okay.
thinking back to everybody, just like not, I would say best. I should mean that was beautiful, like the most striking, just that earth that was the gray into the color and everything, and very, very pretty. Not that
Where
every,
I was sitting, I didn't realize that that's what the floor was, but the flags have the earth in them. And so I noticed that on the silks, but I didn't realize that the tarp was also giving us that. That's really cool. Wow.
yeah, it was a full like picture of like the globe, and then the edges were grayed and white, and then as the center gets more colorful, and then like you could see like in the top view, because remember I'm a high camera, you were there, but I'm a high camera because we've talked about this. Multicam always cuts away from the big moments and it drives me bananas. But you can see like in the South Americas, like it's not just color, like it's like a design in color on top of the continent. So clearly a lot of heavy thought went into the floor. I just thought the floor is beautiful. They are doing Bitter Earth, but at least it wasn't the original is Dinah. This
Um,
one was done by Veronica Swift. This version is by Veronica Swift.
oh, okay. Okay.
Dinah Washington. Dinah
Oh,
Washington is the original. I knew it was a Dinah. That's the version that we've heard 6,000
yeah.
times.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, at least it's a different version. But this is a song that needs to be retired.
It felt because it could have felt like, oh, not this song again. I thought it felt a little more uplifting. Um,
Agreed. Agreed.
Maybe not as not. I mean, it's a heavy song, but it didn't feel as heavy the way that they interpreted it and the colors we were seeing to depict it and that sort of thing. I think that helped take us up a little bit and not feel so weighed down by it. Yeah, I mean the costume certainly helped. That ending yellow flag, holy cow, that was my favorite part of the whole show. I think was that ending flag feature with that yellow silk. That was just gorgeous into that toss and oh wow, beautiful show.
Yeah.
And they've made finals before. I can't remember when it was last, but I know they have been around for quite some time.
Yeah, the name definitely sounds familiar. It's
Yeah.
tough with those Florida guards because they all
Yeah.
kind of sound the same. Just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Cooper City. Yeah, that sounds right.
But beautiful, beautiful job.
Beautiful job. Yes. Let's move on to 11th place, which was Grand Oaks High School. Now, here's some numbers that are going to shock you.
Okay.
Their show was Autobiography of a Bird. They were the fan favorite. They had the bird's nest in the back corner. They came out of semis in ninth, so they dropped a little bit in finals. They came into Dayton ranked 52nd.
Whoa. That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I would have to go back and really do some digging to see like when their regional score was because they could have gone to like the early Austin regional.
The very first weekend or something
Yep, one and done
and
regional
that was
season.
it. Yeah.
But yeah, they came in ranked 52nd, make finals, almost top 10.
That's incredible. Wow.
They
Well,
they they were the big one. They were the big one.
that's phenomenal. And fan favorite, you said, right?
And fan favorite. Yep.
Cool. Yeah. Again, beautiful show. When they were setting up, they opened the tarp out and I was like, what is that? Oh, it's a bird's nest. That's really cool. And then they put this kind of ramp shaping prop around the backside of the nest as well, just to give some dimension, which was really pretty. And again, gorgeous costumes. Oh my gosh, absolutely beautiful.
And these kids could spin.
They could spin.
These kids could
Um,
spin.
yeah, they had some stellar moments.
The one that stuck out to me, I think they had five rifles in a
Mm.
V formation, like birds would fly in a V, like just like a little, those tiny little like design nuggets, like,
Yeah.
and they did this sit roll under like a six or something like that. And I was just like, and they all cracked. I'm like, like, hang on, I gotta close my jaw. Like,
Yeah. I thought that was a great moment. They had great technique throughout. I mean, just obviously wonderfully trained, and they were relying on that and using that and showing it off. I loved the big flag and rifle moment they had on more so on side two, about probably about halfway through the show, I guess. But they gave us the rifles toss and the flags give us a little bit of a head chopper move and catch and it but it was just oh the build into that moment and then it happened and then we oh it was that was just like just a I don't know. I just loved watching that develop and then happen and then we get the release afterwards and it was just beautiful.
and
But
the
and
show had a good build to it too. Like, it started
again,
kind of
yeah,
slow, kind of
they
soft, and
spilled out of the nest and kind of all just kept kind of coming out of the nest and yeah, and then it just kept mm, yeah, it was really well staged again, as all of these are.
and that's the thing though, is like we were talking about it earlier, like, because the scores were so tight, all these groups like kind of looked of the same caliber.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you're just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
how, like, because you
I mean, every single theme that we have seen has been completely different. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
yeah, wow, wow, wow.
Just yeah, wow. Where were they from again?
They are from Spring, Texas.
Texas.
They're a
Okay.
Texas guard. Yep.
Yeah, Houston area. Yeah,
How
okay.
many? So we had, I'm going to go back and count real quick. I don't think so. We had Jersey Village, we had Grand Oaks, Friendswood, and Rock Hill. There were four Texas guards in finals. The Stars at Night.
You know what? I didn't hear it a single time.
You didn't.
Nope.
I heard it probably 6,438 times per guard because it was because
Wow.
I'm on flow, so the flow camera is picking up like all the audience stuff, and it was just like it was like a cannon around the arena. Like, somebody would
Oh,
start it, and then
okay.
3 seconds later, somebody else would start it. And the reason you probably didn't hear it is because you never got the full crowd doing it. It was like
That's,
five kids would do it, then another five kids would do it, and they were just kind of all like overlapping each
and
other.
they may have been up and behind me or something, or who knows, whatever. But yeah, I was surprised. I was like, I didn't hear it. I did hear a California cheer and a Massachusetts cheer, which was kind of fun. I was
Oh,
like,
a Massachusetts one. I
okay,
know. So California used the Tupac song, the Tupac Shakur song,
okay.
California Love, and then New York has Welcome to New York, Welcome to New York, and they said I've heard it at the Bethlehem Regional, so they've got a little something, but I haven't heard Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, I forget how it was. It was cute though. It was basically like we're gonna toss it, we're gonna catch it. Like it was like real like whoop, because they will.
Yep,
They,
if it's Massachusetts, yep.
but yeah.
All right, let's enter to the top 10. We are
All
halfway
right.
through. Top 10. 10th place was Elizabeth High School with their show Tango del Desamor. They
Yes.
came out of semis in 11th and they were ranked fourth coming into Dayton. And this was my pick for fan favorite.
Mhm.
And, the crowd was loving these fans, even though that one girl accidentally threw hers across the floor at the
It's
beginning.
fine. It's fine. I don't need this anymore. Throw it in the bin. It's fine. Yeah, those fans were fanning. That couch was couching. It was, I was, yeah, they came on under the end of the arena and started to set up, and we were like, oh, this is gonna be fun. Like
Oh, yeah.
it was the vibe they were giving off was already great as they were setting up. So you knew you were in for something really fun.
Yeah, the kids knew the character on this one for
Yeah.
sure, and they were
Yeah.
ready. And that opening hit where they just start like walking forward with the shoulders, and then they
And then
reach up, and then
whack.
whack with that
Yes, because I
fan.
was that was happening. I was thinking, oh, you better pop this fan open. But I felt like I was like, they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do. Oh my God, there it is! Like it was, yeah, it was so great.
Because they had like six kids do it around the couch, and
Yeah, it was
then
kind of like a quick little
yeah, and then they
moment,
get everybody in the center and
and
just
then bam, yeah,
it
on
was
the
like reminding me of Blessed Sack last year when they just rip it and like
yes, yeah, it was
love,
it
love,
was
love.
so good, so much fun. They were really good. They were solid.
I love the rifle section in the middle with Libertango, and I love that they took that piece and sped it up to put some energy
Yes,
into
it
it.
was it was really cool to hear that mixed in there. There was like a hint of Carmen. There was
Yes.
and then like they did a great job of weaving in some extra kind of that Spanishy Latiny with the Tango Roxanne. Just so much fun. I don't know. They were just really great to watch as it went on, and then that rifle moment came out and happened, and then we pushed into that flag feature that was just like build, 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 build. We're gonna tighten up around that couch, and bam,
We're gonna spin 6 inches from each other.
that so I it got better, and maybe they were nervous too, who knows, but
It was a
I
long day,
it
and
was the
yeah.
glimmer of like, ooh, come on guys, you can do it, you can do it, and then they found the groove with it and like really pushed forward. But so many great little moments with that they did. It felt like, I mean, they weren't a small team, but they weren't giant either, but
It's
like
about 16,
it
17
felt
kids,
like
yeah.
the set was humongous.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was because we had the curtains in the far back side too. We had the couch up front. Maybe it just gave us like some of that weird like perception kind of
And
vibe.
wasn't their floor kind of like a fan? So you kind of had like the diagonal lines reaching, which made me kind of
Okay,
extended
maybe
the
that's
visual
helpful.
palette.
Yeah. So, but I was just like, this set is gigantic, and it just felt like they were using every inch of it too. They were like, we got to make sure we take up this whole tarp because we got it. Let's use it. But it was good. That flag feature though, woo, man, it built, 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 and boom.
And
Oh,
they just kept compacting, 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 compacting. And then they were like, you know what? We're gonna give you a quick, like Blue Devils, April Gilligan Martinez, down, up, down, up, down, up, quick
yes,
moment right in your
yes.
face.
My,
Uh the yellow flags too, that yellow flag moment where they come out from that curtain and they move to the couch and
yeah,
they are twirling. I'm like, and
yes.
nobody clapped for them. I'm like, come on, y'all.
I
Like,
did. I did. I clapped.
I'm like, this is a flag line
There was
moment that you don't get very often in Scholastic A like this, like where they're like, you okay?
ooh, my throat got a tickle, and it happened. I'm sorry.
Ah,
Oh shoot.
sorry, we're recovering from a moment where Will almost died. So
Sorry. Ooh, my allergies flared up driving home from Ohio. I blame Ohio. You did this to me.
Blame Ohio for everything. But I feel like in Scholastic A, you don't usually get like a big flag line moment, especially like this. It's spinning with such velocity
Yeah,
and with a bright yellow flag.
that
And I was
felt
like,
off
I was
everything.
like, get it. And then people were like, I'm
I
like, "Ugh."
clapped for them. I clapped.
Well, I appreciate you.
I hope they heard me. Yeah, but
um,
great show. Really fun. Have they been in finals before? Because I feel like I've heard this school's name before,
they've
but
been popping around the regionals for a while. I don't know if they've,
maybe that's why. Maybe I've
I don't know
just
if they've made finals at Dayton. I don't even know. Maybe they've come to Dayton. I honestly don't know.
I don't know. Well, nonetheless, they did it. Yay.
If I remember correctly, I don't remember. Did they do Singing in the Rain last year, which I thought was also super cute?
Hmm.
I don't
That
remember.
does ring a bell that I have to go on hunt
I
down every.
saw it at Bethlehem, but there were so many. I mean, Bethlehem is a huge Scholastic A and Independent A regional. Like I
Yeah.
think this year there were like 20 Independent A guards there alone.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So it's just like there's a lot to see there and try to like, who was that?
Great job, Elizabeth High School. Congrats.
Great job. Let's move on to ninth place. We have Friendswood High School from Friendswood, Texas, and they finished ninth. They came out of semis seventh, and they came into Dayton ranked eighth. So they were
Or right
right
where
where
they're
they needed to
supposed to
be.
be, basically. Yeah. And this was the first of two necktie themes that we got. Yeah, which was kind of fun. Great staging. These kids can move. That was, I think, the big standout to me, just in just the whole show for them. They are beautiful movers.
I
Yeah.
noticed that too when I
Just
saw them at one of the regionals. I was like, these kids
wow.
can move.
Elegant, poised, so fluid with everything they were doing, like just really well trained in that particular aspect. I loved the green flag feature at the end that we got. That was a beautiful moment. That splash of that color was really lovely too. And they had, I'm gonna say probably the most unique costume that was white. It was like white on white on white, and it was neckties dangling off of various parts of the costume, but it was all just like layered neckties. And it took me a second. I was like, "Oh, that is really cool." And it gave some neat dimension and movement as they, on them while they were moving around, and really cool costume design. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Well,
think
a
it's a
solid
quality
group.
program. Yep.
Yeah, they've been great
We
for a
said at
long
the same
time.
time, quality group.
Yeah, they've been great for a while. They had some, bobbles at the beginning with some of the isolated moments, but they found their groove with it, and really emotive group too. I think that their movement quality and the emotive quality of their performance, beautiful to watch them perform.
I think that's kind of been like kind of the standard of their program too, because even back before they
They
moved to open when they were doing well in Scholastic
right, I
A,
forgot they were. Yeah, they've yeah.
because they got promoted midseason when Palm Desert Charter Middle School also got they both got moved up to open the same season.
Okay.
And then they both I think they finished back to back at finals that year. But yeah, so yeah, even back then you could they're very good with their bodies and very emotive and very
Yeah,
all this kind of stuff.
exactly. Yes. Yeah, but beautiful. And again, that green flag feature, I was just like, wow, huge statement and just clean. It was really pretty.
That 45 moment, yeah. I remember
Oh,
that from the regional too. I was just like,
wow.
oof,
Wow. Those
love it.
white poles going around together. Oof. Love it. Love it.
Well, right here, let's move on to our next necktie show, which eighth place, which was Diamond Bar High School, and their show all tied up.
Yeah.
They came out of semis in 10th. They were ranked 11th coming into the weekend. And this is our third like tailoring kind of show. Like because we had Mayflower in World, you had Undaunted in Independent Open,
Yep.
and then you have Diamond Bar with kind of like the men's suiting kind of clothing vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Is there another one or
Well, I'm thinking, well, right, yeah, tailoring, sewing, yeah, and then if you narrow it down to the neckties, we've got Diamond Bar and Friendswood with necktie theme. But yeah, which is well, yeah, really interesting that all that that whole aspect. But yeah,
And their music was La Campanella, played on accordion. And I don't play piano, but it's like I don't like horror movies, but I'm fascinated by them. I don't play piano, but I'm fascinated by piano pieces. And La Campanella is an extremely, extremely difficult piece to play on a piano. I don't know how the hell you play this on an accordion. So whoever did this, like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, but it was so quirky and fun too to hear it on that instrument and giving the background to this show. I thought that yeah, that was really clever, I guess was is it would be a good word for or unexpected to hear that treatment of that piece. Lots of energy from these performers. Just great fun to watch them. And they've been doing the work, I will say, and in over the last several years. They've been in finals, out of finals. They've, dabbled back and forth and whatnot, but man, they just had a blast with this show. All the little treatments with the costume on the silks, on the tarp, the interactions with each other, and how they just kept using that tailoring and the necktie motif throughout. It just was really fun to watch and kept it really engaging. Yeah, it's just really creative. I loved it. It's fun.
Yeah. I like the color story of everything was black, white, and gray, and then red. Like red was the highlight. So even on the floor, you had the one red tie on the floor. Everything else was black and white or gray. Same in the flags. I still don't think those opening flags, it's a little too much visually with the different patterns within the black and white.
Yeah, there was a lot of pattern going on. Yeah.
And then the ending streamer tail flags with the red tie. A lot of
Yeah.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the show. It was a unique concept and a piece that I don't think we've ever really heard in color guard.
Not that, well, not an accordion anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say this was and this is not a knock on anyone. This was the first group where I felt like every single one of these kids was exactly on the same level, same page with training and their technique. Every single thing that they did was exactly the same. And this was the first group where I really caught that like as an ensemble and was like, wow, that's incredible. Like the heights on the rifle tosses, stunning. So just in terms of that aspect to the training program, they really showed that off really well. I think through the staging maybe has helped to see that too, maybe more so than some of the other groups where it's just more obvious to catch that the rifles are releasing catch and it's all
Mm.
spot on with that. You know what I mean? Like just that detail of uh
Yeah. Well, it's one of the
matching,
things that I picked out about like John C. Bertlebaugh was like they do everything exactly the same. Like,
matching heights, matching pitch. My seats watching a finals too, I was if you think yard lines, I was like on the 40-yard line and angled just a skosh in, so I'm kind of just, you know, facing in towards the 50. So I was getting these glimmers of those angles and those pitches a little bit more so than you might have gotten from, just flat on. Which was kind of fun. I love to see that because it's exciting to see like, oh wow, those really are rotating exactly the same. That is really wild.
where you're like, oh, those are not rotating.
Well, right, yeah. But yeah, yeah, the Diamond Bar just super fun, super super fun.
Yeah. And like you said, they've been plugging away. I mean, God, they were making finals back when we were marching,
They were, yeah, I mean
when Shapiro was working with them.
90s. They were, I mean, yeah, they've been in world class, open class, A class. They've been in finals across the board in every class. They've done all the things.
All the things.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they were the one that did the Cinderella show like 2015, right? They did the maids
Uh,
to Cinderella ball
yeah, they
gowns.
had the reveal dress that everybody started copying and
Yep.
wanting and asking for. Yep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Whitney Houston song. Yep.
Yep. Alrighty, let's move on to seventh place with another California color guard. We have Rancho Cucamonga High School with their
Yes.
show Up in the Attic. And they were seventh in finals. They came out of semis in eighth, and they were ranked 23rd coming into the weekend.
Nice.
And this was a really cute concept of the things you just stuff away in the attic. The song was oh, I forgot to write it down, but where the lost I think it's where the lost things go
Where
is
the
what it's
lost
called.
things go, I think. Yeah.
And
Beautiful song.
yeah, and I love some of the little things of one, that opening rifle. Yes, girl. Yes.
He
Oh,
killed it every single time.
yep.
Wow.
And I think she ended the show too.
Yep. She
So
ends it. Wow. Just
yes, 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 Queen. You get all the things, all the
mhm,
things. And we're gonna jump to the end of the show, but I love how they staged the show with three piles of quote unquote junk, and then at the
mhm,
end of the show, they make the fourth pile.
mhm.
They're now the lost,
It was
forgotten things. I was like,
it was really sweet. This one made me cry. It made me cry in prelims. I saw it in prelims through Flow Marching, and I saw it live in finals, and made me cry both times. It was just beautiful. And you talk about rock solid kids. Holy cow. Technique was on point, and they were thrilled to death to show it off. And boy, did they ever. Just spectacular. And this is a program, another one. They have been doing this a long time, folks. They
yep.
have they have been in and around and still going strong. It's so great to have them back again, and just a beautiful show. Kind of fun, kind of quirky at times. Like there was a little bit of these glimmers of joyfulness to it, but also the tenderness and the sweetness and hints of the sadness too to the song, which if it's just they mixed all that together really well. I thought that they gave attention to their flag line really well to pick up the layers in the soundtrack too. There's that they add in this olive green silk. It starts to come out. Then they bring out another one. They bring out another one. And the introduction of those silks worked so well with the soundtrack. They did a great job of that, and just I don't know, just the staging of those moments, and then building into where you see the flag line get to show off a little bit. It's really
And
nice.
I love the colors they used too, that they were kind of dark and drab because we're in a dirty, musty attic. Yep.
Yeah, the muted green, the muted kind of maroonish brown towards the end. Yeah,
Which was gold early in the seaon. I wonder if it was a filler flag or if they were just like, this is not the color
maybe
we
it was
want. So they switched to red.
bright, maybe.
Yeah. Well, because
Yeah,
they used it was like a mustardy kind of almost like the shirt you're wearing, like a mustardy kind of dingy. I was like,
yeah,
oh, it's a dingy gold. But then I saw them
yeah.
in Dayton. I'm like, oh, they switched it to like a maroon color.
Hmm,
Who knows?
I don't know. I liked it.
Friends would switch their uniforms. They were in blue dresses. I'm like,
I
oh,
was
and then
gonna. I was looking up something earlier, and I noticed that. I was like, wait a minute, this is this is them, but they're wearing a blue dress. But then yeah, so it's kind of funny. It's fun to see programs that do that too. You're like, oh, let's try this, or let's try this, or or when they win the pieces, maybe they were just waiting for stuff, and here
yeah.
it comes, and it's yeah,
Oh, it's finally here. We
yeah,
finally get to wear our costumes.
yeah.
Yeah, I liked this one, and yes, that opening rifle girl. I'm gonna give you the snaps, the
She
claps, everything.
was awesome. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're amazing. All
I
right, moving on to sixth place, we had Carroll High School with their show Going Up. They came out of semis in fifth. They were ranked second coming into the weekend, and this was the Bellboy Hotel show with probably another candidate for best floor. That white marbled with the gold lines
Yes, and then the three elevator props.
and the
That
velvet rope along the front.
Yeah, yeah, it was great setup. Just a smart set design.
Yeah, production value is 10 out of 10.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, and they had the luggage racks that they roll around and play with a few times, and yeah, it was really neat.
Yeah, loved this one. And this was one that was kind of scoring lower early on in the season. And, kind of like Madison Central, I'm like, why isn't this higher? I think the concept is there. I think the kids are there. And just for some reason, it just wasn't. I don't know. The judges weren't into it at the time. I don't know. But end of the season is all that matters. So
Hmm.
I will say, kind of like you were talking about earlier with like matching tones and colors and everything. That ending yellow gold flag they have that matches the yellow gold lines in the floor, because we know there's like five different shades of gold in the band shop catalogs. You got the black warp, the white warp, and all that. And then you have the
Yep.
yellow gold.
Yep.
And so, and yellow gold can always look a little weird, because it's not, it's yellow gold. It's got a weird,
Well, and like gold flagpoles are more like brassy gold. They're not yellow gold. They're more brassy. So it's yeah, you finding the because the line of the pole sleeve or the silk sleeve and then going into the pole, I thought was really well matched too. Yeah, yeah. That
And
was
their middle flag had the Grand Carol on it. That was the name of their
that kind of
hotel.
soft pink, and I love that. Yeah.
I loved it. The costuming was super cute. The burgundy with the gold, the bellboy uniforms.
Mhm.
Yeah, you mentioned the luggage racks. A lot of thought went into it, and I think this one was just it just came down to execution at the end of the day of why they didn't make the top five. They did have some bobbles there, and I think design and everything the effect was there. It's just fortunately long day, and you're getting to the top. And
I think something that stuck out, the song they're using, Emerald Marquis used it in 1997. It's the Chairman Dances by John Adams. Really risky song to use because it is hard. It's hard to count, and it's just a big soundtrack. It's a tough piece of music, and they did a great job with it, and just in terms of using it, getting through, and having fun with that because it could be kind of serious, but it is kind of it's a bouncy, kind of soundtrack too, but just a risky choice. But I thought it worked really well for them, and they did a great job with it.
yeah, and if judges recognize it, they'll give you credit for it for using, especially you use a piece that has like no pulse in it or something. The
Mhm.
judges will be like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
trying to find a tempo in something that's not really there. I made note of that when we talk about an independent A guard or just how their soundtrack is very confusing to count.
Hmm.
So it's kind of same situation here. So
Yeah.
yep, I liked it. Thought it was a really cute concept, beautiful floor,
Yep.
and this was
Great.
their second year in finals. So if they come next year,
That's right. They were the jellyfish last year.
that's right. Congrats, Carol.
Yes.
Let's move on to top five. So from here on, all of these guards are moving to open class next season. We're starting with Rock Hill High School out of Texas with their show, The Boxer. They were fifth in finals. They were fourth out of semis, and they were 19th coming into the weekend.
Okay.
And they
Oh,
used the music. Their music was called The Boxer. I don't have the artist, but I remember looking it up, and it's the name of the song.
yeah. Yep. Originally Simon and Garfunkel. But yeah, this cover of it, great setup. Like kind of the locker room. We got the locker room kind of vibe, and then we've got the boxing ring, and we've got these different segments of this kind of, I guess, gym space, kind of a vintagey feel to it too, with the costuming, and
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of neat to see, and
I love the little boxing moment they had in the middle. And I thought they were going to pull like a James Logan 2002 and do like the slow mo. Remember back to Logan when they did their
yeah,
boxing show and they had that slow mo of that
yes.
girl getting punched in the head. The fighter ticket flag at the end. I
Yeah.
love those little
Just a
design
lot
things.
of little elements, yeah, and they had like duffel bags across the front as like just like their markers for the across the front of the tarp. They had some vintage boxing gloves kind of hanging across the back. Just some little touches like that that were really neat, and just a great guard. Oh my goodness, like they were just I don't know. I remember sitting there and just being kind of just sucked in just to their little world that they created for 5 minutes. That it was just like wow, like they were just great. Nothing stood out good or bad, like no, there were no extremes to it. It was just like this is just a great show. um like you said, the boxing moment over on side two was really neat, and a fun touch. Some excellent writing with the weapons. I think the rifle line had a lot of really strong moments, and the flag book too was really great, and um well executed. So lots of just strong moments throughout. I mean, they just a super solid group, and a really fun theme to and a theme we don't normally see a lot. You don't
Yeah.
usually see a sports vibe. So it was fun to see that in the mix of things too. Just yeah.
Yeah. And I love the ending flag feature. Because
Mhm.
I feel like that silk was a little oversized, like lengthwise. It seemed like a little bit of a
Yeah.
bigger silk.
Yeah.
And it just,
That was actually something I noticed just across the board. A lot of the flags, and I love a big flag, so I'm here for it. But like a lot of the flags just seemed a little bit quote unquote oversized. I mean, it could have been, they could be 37 by 58 instead of 36 by 54, whatever it is. But there was just giving a little bit more visual presence to the fabric part of the flag itself. I loved it. I was here for it. But yeah, just a little bit bigger statement with the silk.
yeah. So congrats, Rock Hill. Good luck in Open next year.
Yeah. And they're from Texas, right? That was
They're
the
from
Texas.
Texas. Yep.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Let's move on to fourth place with Edwardsville High School with their show A World to Rediscover. They were fourth. They came out of semis in sixth, and they were ranked 18th coming in. And they used what's the name of the song? I just blanked on it from Sunset Boulevard, the big song.
As if we've never said goodbye.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
didn't type it on my outline because like, oh, I know the name of the song, and then I go to say it, and I'm like, but they're using As If We Never Said Goodbye by Voctive, which has become a very popular group. We saw many guards using this year.
Yeah.
Big, like big a cappella music that's great for color guards. So I have a feeling we're going to be hearing a lot from this group
Yeah.
in coming soundtracks. And this show, so good, so beautiful. I want one of the ending flags, please.
Absolutely gorgeous. Oh my gosh.
I messaged them earlier in the season. They're like, yeah, we might be able to sell you one. I'm like, so I need to follow up on that. But these kids did not come to play. They were excellent, and I loved just that grayish. So I was incredibly surprised by how different everybody's floor looked in Dayton.
Hmm.
And I feel like so many shows were written for Dayton, especially in the world side,
Yeah.
where you have that bigger space. You get in these high school gyms and everything's cramped and everything's dark. You pull out a black floor, it makes the whole gym dark and everything gets muted.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in Dayton. And but I just love their floor and then that rainbow flag feature that from the end, you have the iridescent flag feature that goes right into the rainbow flag feature.
It was breathtaking. I mean,
Oh,
just breathtaking. And against that light silvery gray costuming they had, it was kind of ethereal feeling.
yeah.
Just
And the long hair that they were whipping everywhere.
and just they just were beautiful. And again, another group, kind of like Friendswood, incredible movement ability. Just beautiful to watch them move through space and time. And yeah, just I was honestly I was like Edwardsville, okay, Illinois, cool. Wow. Like, yeah, because last year, did they make finals last year?
Yeah, they were I
They
believe
were
they were the
the
Firefly
lightning bugs,
show.
but your
Yeah.
Firefly. Yeah, yeah.
They had the really pretty like leaf floor, I think, last year.
Yes, that's right. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. But this was just a like, okay, we did that. Now let's give you something completely different. And this was just exquisite, beautiful, mature, very mature.
They're ready for open.
Perhaps I'll say it, perhaps the most mature of the batch from a programming standpoint. I think, yeah, they are ready
Yeah.
for class. Yeah, they were.
Yeah, those five, yeah, I would say, yeah, I would say they're the most
They're
ready. Like you could transplant them now and they would be okay.
they'll hang in there. But yeah, just and like you said, that I mean that ending flag whole, wow, 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 wow.
I watched the video. It's the front two that come out like the very so she would end up front, side two, corner, and then
Mhm.
the girl next to her have the orange flags, and I'm like, that's the one I want. One of those two, please.
Yeah, it,
And
just
I will pay you for it. I'm not asking for anything for free. I'm not one of those people. I will pay you for your services. So if you're willing to sell a silk, I'll pay for shipping too. Yeah, so lovely. And a
yeah.
lot of iridescent flags this year too. I noticed
Yes.
that.
Lots of iridescent lame flags, whether they're printed on or just the solid fabric on its own. Comes in a lot of great colors, folks. Feel free to use it. It's beautiful.
Is it as heavy as it used to be? Because I remember when it first came out, like back in the day, like I mean, that those flags would suck in so much air. They felt so heavy to spin.
No, it's not bad. It actually can be, I think it can be lighter than tissue lame sometimes, but it may, and it honestly, it could be depend on the company that makes it. I mean,
Mm,
there's variations on tissue lame, there's variations on polychina silk. But yeah, the iridescent lame, beautiful, beautiful fabric.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's move on to our medalists. Now, this is the most interesting one. Third place, we have Campbell County High School with their show Seen Unseen.
Mhm.
They finished third. They came out of semis in third. They came into Dayton ranked third.
incredible. And they have never made it out of prelims. This was their first time ever making it out of prelims, and boom, they get a medal. The Campbell County Camels, Justin Turner, doing amazing stuff over there. He's been there a long time with them and working so hard, and it is just incredible. And this is the first time a Kentucky school has ever medaled in Scholastic A.
Oh, wow.
Awesome job for that. And also the first time that Kentucky's ever had two schools in Scholastic A finals at the same
Go,
time.
go Kentucky. Watch out. I mean, you have Larry Ryle there as well.
I'm very proud,
Yeah,
very, very
no,
proud of all the
be
Kentucky
proud.
things.
All the
So,
Texas guards do it. Why can't you do it? About yeah.
but Campbell County, oh my goodness, just so, so proud for them and happy for them.
This is a show that you need to watch on the high cam stuck on the 50 because
Yes.
there's
Yeah.
the way the show is designed is exquisite. And did you see that like killer photo they got of the girl that starts the show? It's like when they're waiting to start and they're, performing their program and she's on the front 50 prop and she's halfway and it's just her eye. And like one of the photographers, like the legit photographers, got a picture of her. So it's
That
this super
is
high quality picture
awesome.
of the prop going halfway down her face. And she's got like this like
Oh, that
cold stare. They made
so
it their
cool.
Instagram photo picture. Like it's their
Okay, I'll
profile
have to.
picture.
Okay,
It
I'll
is
go look it up.
so cool.
That
And
is
she's just like dead staring the audience down. And then
ah,
she just slips behind the prop slowly.
that is super, super cool. Yeah,
This is an upstairs show for sure. Like
very, very upstairs. I mean, they handled themselves quite well downstairs, I think, but they actually won the design caption in finals.
I believe it.
Design analysis, they were first. Yeah, it is mesmerizing to watch. At least I think. I mean, just to watch it unfold and just this slick, sleek, effortless moving behind all these props because the props don't move, and it's just remarkable. Yeah.
Yeah, and the way the bodies move, and I said this earlier in the season when I was doing an AMA on Instagram, and
Mhm.
people were like, "What's your favorite flag feature of the season?" And I said Campbell County, and I'm sticking with it. It is the most creative, the most inventive, and just the coolest flag feature. The all the things they do within that flag ensemble moment with these props and just moving people around. It is so cool.
And I mean, I maybe I'm wrong, and of course I'm slightly biased, but I don't think you ever saw anything slip out on the sides of these props. Like they did such a great job of being so controlled and in charge of themselves as the performer to keep everything hidden from you behind every single panel.
I'd say
And
98%. There were a
you
couple.
know what I mean? Like, you might the hints of, I at least I never saw that, which I just makes me just even more drawn in, I guess, to but just
Yeah, they handled it really well. There was one moment where that rifle boy right on the 50 chucks the gun behind him.
oh
He
yeah.
he got a little excited
Oh
and
well yeah.
it went a little it went a little just but it
Yeah.
didn't go like
But
super far. Like just
yeah, yeah.
but things like that. But I mean, just yeah.
So cool. Their weapons are strong. I think they great stuff there. I love to watch their flag line and just the flag work that they do in general. Just some really, really great writing in that. And the performers I thought seemed really comfortable, almost where it's like this looks almost too easy for them, kind of thing. Like they were just doing it so well and effortlessly. Um, it's just really, really great. Yeah.
And I've seen close up videos because they like to do a lot of stuff on Instagram and TikTok of like their runs and getting like the in rehearsal shots and everything. They don't
Yeah.
spin easy work.
No, it's very hard. I've judged them in the fall the last few years, and they don't mess around outside either. I mean, like, yeah, they're doing some very challenging choreography. Super, super jazzed for them. I hope they can keep going and just keep doing the things because it's paying off.
Yeah, this is a really cool show. If you can find a copy on YouTube, get the high cam. It
Yep.
makes such a difference because there's so many just staging effects they do. Just even at the end, the way the performers run into the 50, the way they have that time, so they hit the props at the same time, and it's just there are so many things like that, and the flag feature is just so freaking cool.
Really pretty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. So congrats to Campbell County Camels.
Yes.
Let's move on to second place, which was probably kind of a shock for people. It was John C. Bertelbaugh High School with their show, The End. They finished second. They were first after semis. They were ranked first coming in. And I mean, just the training on this color guard is I don't know if I can find a word for it
It,
because I don't think exceptional is enough.
yeah.
Like it's just like
Exquisite.
this is what the WGI sheets are written for when they're talking about training, like this color guard.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. I mean, they, I mean, I don't know what they're doing at rehearsal, but to me, it's like they are being looked at from every single possible angle in their home gym to make sure that everything is thought about and that each performer understands completely and can execute completely every last little thing. It's just incredible.
Yeah, you were talking about pitches earlier. The pitches on their 45s are immaculate.
I mean, the silk goes around the pole, like the whole thing is clean. Not just, some people clean the silk, some people clean the pole, which do you, who's, how do you do that? They did the entire flag. And it is just wow. Yeah, I mean, it's just remarkable. Yeah, masterclass in understanding, training, and execution.
Yep.
Achievement. Yeah.
And they just missed being promoted to open last year. They were sixth. They
That's
were
right.
fifth in semis and moved down to sixth and they had to stay in A another year. And just like, yeah, I mean, I love the show. It's more subdued. It's more like standard A class. It's not very flashy. They're just like we're gonna check all the boxes. We're gonna do all the things we know how to do exceptionally well, and we're gonna show you how we do that. And
Mhm.
I love it because you get these guards that come out and they're like, "This is A class, y'all. You don't need to be doing all this stuff." Like, why don't you get everybody throw their fives the same before you try to start putting double turns under them? Get the
Or your
tosses going
triples the
straight over
same
there.
first before you do a five.
Right. Yeah. Let's get triples down, and then work our way up the ladder. I will say the one thing I didn't understand about their show, and they added these later on, is these cage props they had in the corner that just sat
Oh yeah.
there. I didn't know
Hmm.
why they added them. I don't know why they were there. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, it's funny you say that. That didn't bother me. The thing if I have to nitpick this show, the thing I didn't like the costume. I thought it didn't make a darn bit. It was like the most random thing you could have put on. But I mean, it was pretty and they looked good in it. But I was like, oh, huh, okay, I don't know, whatever. But that's just. But they had sequins on, so that's all that matters. So,
And
and
you
just,
are a costume guy. You love costumes, so.
yes, yes. So,
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's
it
what
was
you're
just
doing on the floor, and it's just exquisite,
and
exquisite.
their soundtrack was neat. At the covers of a couple really well-known songs, and yeah, I mean, and it's just such confident performers. Um,
And another smaller program, just 11 kids,
11 kids, yep.
and they were only like 11 last year too.
Quality over quantity. You don't have to have a big team to be successful. And I don't know,
Because
they
people always say, well, there's less to clean, but yes, when you're smaller, there you have to be
actually have
more
more to
clean.
clean.
You have to be more clean
Yep, yep.
because there's nowhere to hide. You get
Because
40 people on the floor.
uniformity is on the sheet, and that's uniformity of the ensemble. So yeah, 5 or 6 kids. I've had groups that small. It was real hard. Yeah,
I mean, you look at West Milford this year, six
that's
kids that
right.
did the rows. I mean,
Yeah.
heck, they made semis and
Oh,
six kids.
they came to Dayton. I didn't realize they came to
They
Dayton.
came to Dayton. They made semis. Unfortunately, they got the very first semi spot, though. They went on at 8:30 in the morning. They got the
Oh,
spot of death.
yeah. But hey, they made it to semis. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
that's good for them.
But yeah, congrats to JCB. We're just gonna say that because it's a long
JCB.
name. And then of course, the announcer flubbed their name when they were announcing the silver medal. Bilbao.
Oh gosh, yeah. It was a long night. He was tired. Uh,
Speaking of that retreat, I still have my complaint that the A class didn't get confetti at retreat.
they still didn't do it, did they?
No,
Gee, yeah.
Open got the streamers, those big streamers, and then World got the streamers and the confetti and the video montage. Give this A class some confetti, please.
And world class is the only one where when they're coming out of the tunnel to line and like, lining up and they're being announced, that's the only class where they'll tell you how many times they've been a finalist.
Mm.
Which I mean, I guess
In A class, that kind of makes sense. You wouldn't do that because so many are first timers.
maybe first timer, and yeah, you're not often seeing as many repeats, but it's still interesting. I don't know. I still find it fascinating. Like, oh, this is their first time ever coming, or this is their, 47th time, or,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know. It's still just, but yeah, it's interesting to see like the subtle differences between each of the retreats. But yeah, A class deserves some confetti or streamers or party hats or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I love the retreat swag. I love to see what all the guards do.
It's fun to see. Yeah, get them all jazzed up,
Get all gussied up.
gussied up. Oh gosh.
All right, let's move on to our
The
winner.
surprise, big
Big
surprise.
surprise. First place in finals, second out of semis, 26th coming into the weekend. We have Southington High School from Southington, Connecticut with their show Paris 24.
Hmm.
And this show, they're using the song that Celine Dion sang at the Paris Olympics opening ceremonies. I believe it's Hymne L'amour is what it's called, and it's the live version. Fun little fact, Third Legend, it was their pre-show music last year. So at the Bethlehem Regional, they were rehearsing the same spot, and the staff was just like, "They're using our song. Oh, did we inspire them?" Like playfully, they're like,
Yeah, yeah.
they kept singing along to it.
Gorgeous song. I mean, my goodness.
Stuck in my head,
Beautiful song.
and it's Celine.
Yeah. Before we give them all the love, I have one issue with this show that
Uh oh.
it's more, well, it's not an issue. I'm just find it interesting that they didn't just use the song. They chose to make it about the Olympics, which is just a very interesting choice. The tarp has the Eiffel Tower from the Olympics. There's the rings are in there. They're in kind of sporty, very stylized sport athletic-ish costuming
Yeah.
with the the numbers on the back. I just found it very interesting. Like, this is from 2024. It's 2026. That was my only like, it's like, huh, okay. But once they started, I didn't give two farts about any of that because my God,
This run was flawless.
phenomenal. Like,
Flawless. Because I'd seen this show a few times because I chat with the director on Instagram. He sent me some secret videos of them at rehearsal and just
is
he's
his
like,
name
oh, we made
Joseph, I think. Is
his
it
name is
Joey?
Joey, yeah.
Joey? Yeah, shout out
And
to
he's like,
Joey.
shout out to Joey, hey.
Hi.
And he's like, we made this change, what do you think? Like I felt honored. I'm like, ooh, I'm getting all this insider information. And
Aw.
I'm just like, I watched their run and I was just like, wow.
It,
Wow.
I mean, I don't, I don't even, I mean, I don't know. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Again, more browns and rust coppery colors on the costuming. Gorgeous. Popped off of the tarp. The tarp could have been really busy and they might have gotten lost in it, but it was just the right, it right contrast of the costuming and the tarp color to make them pop. And then just, yeah.
And so many great moments. The weapons were rock solid. So their boy, I believe, marched Spartans. I think he marched a couple years.
Okay.
And then I heard the blonde girl that was the other weapon superstar is marching Phantom this summer.
All right. Nice.
So I'm like,
Yeah. I mean,
tracks.
that watching their sabers, that's really, I think, what stuck out in my mind the most, other than the flag feature, was the saber training and execution of everything they did. My goodness. You talk about matching heights, matching rotations. Those sabers were clean.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you don't see that sort of cleanliness outside of world class. Like, wow. Like it was just spectacular. I don't know. I mean, just rant and rave about that, but
Yep.
but the show was great. I mean, it was beautiful, well staged. It all worked.
Yeah, I mean the flag feature was amazing. I love that silk reveal toss they do and the big hit.
Yes, that
And
was.
just I love the opening where they're running and then you get the couple people that are doing the front walkovers, and then the final body girl, she does like a front walkover and then she does like a little gymnastics, little leg switch walkover slowly, and then
Mhm.
when she stands up, she does the gymnastic salute. And I
Yes,
was just like, this, like, I like those little tiny things, and yeah. And this is the first gold for a Connecticut guard since 2006.
which was Trumbull or Cheshire.
Cheshire High School won, but Trumbull took bronze that year.
Oh wow,
They were in the same class.
I didn't
They were
remember
both in
that.
Scholastic
Okay,
Open.
that's amazing. Wow,
And then I think the last medal was Trumbull in 2018 when they took silver in Scholastic World
wow,
with the bound show when their hands were bound together for like half the show. Do you remember that?
eight. That was incredible.
So trying to reinfuse some life into Connecticut color guard.
That's awesome. And has Southington ever made finals before? I don't
This
remember.
is their very first trip to Dayton, and they win A class.
Uh, wow, is that not just?
Because
Uh,
I believe the staff, from my understanding, this is like the fourth year of the staff, and they kind of put out this plan. Like first year, we'll just stay local. Second year, we'll go to one regional. Our third year, we'll do two regionals, and then our fourth year, we'll go to Dayton. Kind of put that kind of plan, and here we are, fourth year, they go to Dayton. And talking to Joey, like their goal was to make finals. Like that was their ultimate goal. We just want to get into finals. That's all we want. They're going
mhm.
home with a gold medal. That run was, I just
Just fantastic.
when they finished, I was like, and then I watched Bertelbaum, and I'm like, I I was like, I think they could beat them.
Yeah, it's exactly what I thought. It was just like, I think we just saw the gold medal and a very solid silver.
Yeah,
So, I mean, yeah, I loved watching Retreat and
that look of shock where it hits them.
the look of shock on the Southington kids, and then Bertelbaugh being so excited for like because they could have been disappointed. I mean, maybe they were a little
Right.
bit, but I don't know. But just in that moment when the camera panned over to that, and you saw just the joy on Bertelbaugh's face and the shock and oh my gosh on Southington, it was just that was a sweet moment to
And
capture.
then Campbell County was losing their mind for Southington as well.
Oh wow, I didn't know. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Aw,
Yeah, because Southington's boy was standing front retreat, and just the camera, and they announced second place, John C. Bertelbaum, and he's standing there smiling, and then you just see his jaw like slowly
yeah, he's
drop
like,
as it sinks in. He's like, like what
yeah,
just happened?
that was really sweet. Yeah.
So love this show. It was Scholastic A was amazing. A class is always usually exceptional.
I mean, it
This year's
really.
wild.
I heard some friends of mine went to watch. They live basically down the road from Campbell County. So they went over to the NKU arena to watch prelims on Thursday. They were even saying like even the groups that were, I mean, technically in the bottom of their rounds, they were great. Like they were just like the quality of the A guards that showed up to World Championships this year was just spectacular. So yeah, even the ones that didn't make it out of prelims, some amazing groups out there too. So
Yeah. So congrats to everybody. Congrats on a wonderful season. We have one done. We have five more to go.
woo.
Woo! So to all you lovely people, make sure you check out the other recaps. They're going to be coming soon. We're going to be releasing them as we get them done. I'm going to quickly edit them and just post them. No, none of this Wednesday crap. Just when they're done, they're going up. So you may get to it one time. We'll see.
Woo.
So we will catch you next time at the Independent A. Bye.
Bye.
Alrighty, y'all. That's a wrap on this one. More are coming. These are just going to come flying out. If you want to reach out to me with anything, you can shoot me a message on Instagram, an email at flagsinagym.pod@gmail.com, or through the Spotify comments. But that's my least preferred method. So if you Facebook Messenger, IG, or email is great. I will catch you all on the Independent 8 episode, which will be coming out very, very soon. So until then, stay safe, stay fabulous, and remember, at the end of the day, it's just flags in a gym.